Question: why did Arjuna take a vow to kill Jayadratha instead of some of the other stronger enemies, say such as Karna, after Abhimanyu was killed? Okay, even Karna was a part of the people, 6 people who killed Arjuna, who killed Abhimanyu. So Jayadratha was relatively weaker, and why did Arjuna choose a weaker target? Was it because he was not confident that he could kill Karna? Answer: no. Arjuna's resolve to revenge Abhimanyu's death by killing Jayadratha had nothing to do with the weakness or strength of any particular opponent. It was based on, that resolve was based on who had been most responsible for Abhimanyu's death. Now, in a war, there are different factors which may combine to cause the death of a particular warrior. But there is a particular cause which is like the defining cause. Just like sometimes people hire assassins. Now that mercenary killer, that person may shoot the trigger or push the knife into the heart, but the cause of the death primarily is the person who paid the mercenary. So like that, there may be different levels of causation, and who is responsible for death needs to be carefully understood. Is it the murderer or the person who paid the murder? The person who paid the murder is naturally more responsible. So similarly, if we see in the case of Abhimanyu's death, the Pandavas, apart from Arjuna, who was fighting with Susharma and his army of Trigartas in another side of the war, the remaining Pandavas, Yudhishthir, Bhima and others, they had come up with a plan to break the Chakravyuha. And that plan centered on Abhimanyu breaking into the Chakravyuha, and thereafter, after having broken in, then to follow him and then break after having entered the Chakravyuha, to devastate it from within. And things went according to plan. Abhimanyu broke through the Chakravyuha, and the Pandava warriors, not the Pandavas alone, others were also there. They were all rushing in through the breach that Abhimanyu had created. But right at that time, Jayadratha came in between. And Jayadratha used a benediction that he had got from Shiva. And based on the strength of that benediction, he stopped the Pandavas from following Abhimanyu. And Bhima and Yudhishthir and Nakula and Sahadev and Drishtadyumna, all these warriors were ferociously attacking. But Jayadratha, being empowered by the blessing of Shiva, was able to hold them all back. Now Jayadratha understood what he was doing. Jayadratha understood clearly that by holding the Pandavas back, he was basically ensuring the death of Abhimanyu. Because no matter how valorous a warrior Abhimanyu might be, still alone he would not be able to hold himself in front of the whole Kaurava army. So Jayadratha could have used that boon which Shiva had given at any other time also, but he used it this time in such a way that it surely caused the death of Abhimanyu. While Jayadratha held the Pandavas back, then the Kaurava soldiers regrouped and they closed the breach. And Abhimanyu was trapped inside. And Abhimanyu fought valorously. And later on, there were six Kshatriyas, Maharathas, who attacked together. And then eventually, Durjaya, the son of Dushasan, killed Abhimanyu. So that was all later. Actually, Yudhishthir itself, as soon as Yudhishthir saw the breach being closed, at that time he understood that Abhimanyu is dead. He was devastated, and eventually when he heard the victory cries of the Kauravas, he understood that the inevitable has happened. Now when Arjuna came back and heard about what had transpired, he was furious about the unfair and the brutal way in which 6 Kaurava Maharathas had combined to kill Abhimanyu. But at the same time, he understood that whole situation where Abhimanyu was rendered helpless and was outnumbered and helpless, that whole situation resulted because of Jayadratha's malicious use of his boon for exceptional power at such a situation which would eventually spell the death of Abhimanyu. So it was for that reason that Jayadratha had been the main cause of Abhimanyu's death, that Arjuna decided to avenge Abhimanyu's death by killing Jayadratha. And then, if we move forward, actually, when Abhimanyu killed, when Arjuna had to kill Jayadratha, it was not easy for him. Arjuna had to go through the whole Kaurava forces. In fact, Drona, at the instigation of Duryodhana, arranged the whole Kaurava army so that that whole Kaurava army would be protecting Jayadratha. And Arjuna had to go through Duryodhana, Drona, and eventually later Karna and Ashwathama, and he went through all of them. So, what to speak of overcoming the much stronger Karna? Arjuna overcame everyone over there. Practically the entire Kaurava army Arjuna overcame in a single day. Miles and miles of forces were there between him and Jayadratha, who was at the other end of that gigantic military formation, and Arjuna penetrated through all. So, in this way, it was more based on a strategic understanding of who had caused Arjuna Abhimanyu's death, that Arjuna took his vow to revenge it by killing Jayadratha. And he had to, if he had simply taken a vow to kill Karna, that would not have caused him as much difficulty if he had to fight Karna alone, as he had to undergo when he had taken a vow to kill Jayadratha and had to go through the entire Kaurava army to reach Jayadratha. Thank you. Hare Krishna.